A lot of people think this move is so easy, but when they try it, they look like this. So if you want to make this move look easy, watch this video. I've been training calisthenics for years, and the L-sit was one of the first moves that I got. And to be honest with you, I didn't really struggle that much, but that's only because I knew how to get there. So if your legs are just refusing to stay up, or you just can't stop shaking, I promise we are going to change that in this video. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 components and the only exercises that you really need to do to master the L-sit. And on top of that, I'm going to share with you your exact step-by-step plan for when you walk in the gym. One reason I got this move fairly fast when I got into calisthenics is because abs and core is something that I always trained. Whenever I done upper body, I always done abs. And to be honest with you, a lot of calisthenics is technique that can carry you a long way, but not with this one, right? Not with the L-sit. L-sit is brute force and control. But that's also a good thing, because that means once you've got that control, it transfers to so many different parts of calisthenics. So from my experience, the way I think is best to approach the L-sit is to train 2 things outside of the L-sit. And then once you've got the appropriate strength, in those 2 things, you'll come over and train the L-sit and it will be nice and easy. So the first component is to make sure you've got the ab strength and the core strength. It's very simple and straightforward really. You've got 3 exercises for this. You've got sit-ups, which is nice and basic. You've got knee in and outs, that's going to work your core strength, your abs, and it's also going to work your hip flexors as well, which is very important for the L-sit. And then you've got the boat hold. This static hold is going to be, it's the perfect move in my opinion to train to get the L-sit. So that's the groundwork that I recommend. Just those 3 exercises, nice and simple. 20 reps of each is a good start. And to work your hip flexors a bit more, I do some hanging leg raises. And if that's a little bit too difficult, I'll do some hanging knee raises. And there is an ingredient, there's something else that you need to make sure you're doing, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Give me a second, I'm getting hot. So the second component to all of this is to work the assisting muscles. So once you've got the core and ab strength, that's great. But with the L-sit, you can't really just rely on your core and your abs to hold your body up. Whether it's hanging or on the dip bar, there's going to be different muscles that you use to help keep your body upright. So when it comes onto the hanging L-sit, you are using some back muscles, or you can say some scapula if you want to put it that way, to kind of position your body behind the bar a little bit, and then your core does the rest of the work. If you're doing it on the dip bar or the ground, using a lot of forearms and shoulders, and triceps. So if you're going to be doing the hanging L-sit hold, I would say do some pull-ups and do some scapular pull-ups. With these scapular pull-ups, it's simple. Twist your elbows in, and you're not thinking about doing a full pull-up here. You're more thinking about just pulling your shoulders to the ground. There'll be a slight bend in your arm, that's okay. Your core or abs doesn't actually need to be contracted, if I'm being completely honest with you, but you can do it as a bonus if you'd like. And if you want to do the L-sit on the dip bars or the ground, you're going to need to make sure that you're doing dips. A lot of people overcomplicate it, but I promise if you just cut the noise, stick to the simple basic stuff, and rinse and repeat it, you will get stronger. Real quickly, comment below what type of content you'd like to see from me. And now the third component is the actual L-sit progressions. Start with hanging knee tuck holds. Once that feels very easy and you feel like you can progress, then progress to hanging single leg L-sit holds, and then just straighten the other leg. Then you've got the full L-sit hold. It's gonna take a bit of practice, but basically you lift up both of your legs and you're very much using your back and scapula to help kind of position your upper body a little bit behind the bar, and your core does the rest of the work to keep your legs up. It probably isn't what you was expecting to hear from me today, but as I said, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I'm not gonna stand here and lie to you. And what's that ingredient that I was speaking about before? The ingredient that you need to succeed. Honestly, you will fail if you don't do this. That ingredient is progressive overload. Every time you're doing a workout, you need to make sure you track it, and when you come back next time, do 1% better. Just do that 1 more rep, or that hold for 5 more seconds. As simple as that. By the way, if you think you need a little bit more help with doing the L-sit or unlocking it, you can check out the link in the description. So at the moment, the likelihood is that you're probably just not strong enough to do the L-sit, but you don't need to accept that for who you are. You're not just a person who's weak. Honestly, you know exactly what you need to do to get stronger. So when you get in the gym, this is what I think you should do. Go over to the bar and practice the hanging L-sit hold. To get a certain move, you have to practice that move, no matter how much you fail. And honestly, don't worry about looking silly or anything. I make myself look silly all the time in the gym. After that, go and do 20 reps of sit-ups, 20 reps of in and outs, and do a max boat hold. Remember to track everything. How many reps did you do? How long did you hold the boat hold? Because next time you come into the gym, you're gonna have to top that. After the boat hold, go and do your current progressions when it comes onto your hip flexors, whether that's the knee tucks or whether that's the leg raises. Do that, do your 10 reps and increase it from there, and then do your L-sit progressions. Knee tuck hold, single leg L-sit hold, full L-sit hold, wherever you are in that cycle. After that, you can do 2 sets of the assisting muscles that you're gonna need to do the L-sit. 10 reps to start, work your way up from there. So if this video helped you in any way with unlocking your L-sit, then hit subscribe, because I've got plenty more great advice and content coming your way. Remember, if you think you need a little bit more help with unlocking your L-sit, feel free to check the link in the description below. Always aim to be 1% better, and take care.